Hi everybody watching live and watching on replay. Thanks very much for joining us for the second episode of Real Talk live at 5-ish. And today I'm going to be welcoming a very special guest, the lovely Lara Felix.
Hey!
You made it. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you, Claire?
Really good. Looking beautiful as always.
Thank you. You too.
My first question for you, as I know you're on the side hustle, is the side hustle struggle real?
It is 1000% real.
1000.
Having a side hustle it's hard. It's a conflicting place that you're in because you're working full time trying to gain experience, trying to gain exposure, and also realistically speaking, gain resources to be able to support you in doing your side hustle. So when I say resources, I'm talking about money.
So talking about kind of the crazy world that we're in right now,
Yeah.
how are you feeling? What's going on for you?
A lot is going on. A lot is going on right now, aside from the fact that we are living through a pandemic.
Yeah.
And that in itself is such a big deal. It cannot be ignored. That's the first half of the struggle at the moment.
Yeah.
The second half is what we cannot ignore that's going on in America, and that's actually spread to across the globe as a whole. Yeah. And that is the death of George Floyd. Did somebody's life have to be taken for us to actually get back to understanding what really matters, for us to actually know that, for us to actually say that something's not right here? You know, did somebody have to die for the movement to be reignited? Not that the movement had ever stopped, really, but for it to have this much power and this much force. Dealing with that, it's a lot, because I am a Black woman, and I have a brother, I have a father, you know, I've got uncles, I've got family in America as well. So it's very real. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now. And for those who kind of think, well, that happened in America and that has no impact in the UK, it's wrong. It's wrong, as we've seen. Why are people so passionate about it? You can't say that all of these people are hooligans. You can't say all the people in China who are also protesting are hooligans. You can't say those in Germany, across the globe, that this thing of racism, it's just as bad as a pandemic. It is a pandemic.
It is.
You know, it's a live and happening pandemic. In the UK, I have experienced racism personally. I have personally experienced it in the workplace, you know, in my day-to-day living. When I was in school, I experienced it. So it's very real, what is going on. So the first 6 months of 2020, I don't know, we might need a reset button.
Not being quite sure what to say or how to act or react. And I just don't think I really did see my privilege as it is until now. And I don't want to feel ashamed of that, but it's like, what should I be doing? What more can I do? How are you using your voice? Let me ask you that question.
I know that I'm using my voice as loud as I can. I mean, as you can tell, I'm an expressive person. I'm very passionate about different things. So just being proactive, joining in with what is already going. And if I feel in any way, shape or form that I'm not able to add to whatever is going at the moment, because there are so many initiatives, there's so many platforms that you can support, either monetarily or just by sharing or liking or even acknowledging, as you have. You know, acknowledgement is the first step, and not being ignorant to the fact that this is very real. And other things that I do as well is I wouldn't say I give people passes. I'm past that stage where I give people passes for certain things. You know, it's your responsibility to
educate yourself.
To educate yourself, to know, okay, I'm not particularly familiar with this person, this race, or how things are conducted. I need to take the time out, if you truly care, and especially in the work environment, which is where I find myself, you know, most of the time, you know.
Yeah, 24/7.
24/7.
Like there was some negativity around people putting the Blackout Tuesday image and then not carrying on and not carrying on supporting. I think that you can't just do it for one day, right? If you're going to be vocal and support people, there's so much amazing content being produced by the voices that need to be heard. Just, you know, helping by sharing that on your stories and on your posts. I found a really empowering way to be able to use my voice, even though it's not about me. How do we continue to role model that support of each other through not necessarily talking about it and how we feel, but sharing how someone else is feeling. Would that be a good way to describe action?
Definitely. I'm not about the talk. So I'm more about be about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. So what exactly are we going to do? Let's put together a strategy that we're actually going to implement, because that's what happens a lot of times. Businesses put together strategies and say they're going to do things and have no concrete way of actually executing. How are we going to get to the execution state? And how much of a priority is it for you? You know, so when we're talking about having equality, empowering a certain set of people, how are we going to do it? It's not just about posting blackout, because for all I know, you could post a blackout picture and still be a racist. You still don't understand. You still don't get it. You're just posting it because it's cool. Everybody's on a blackout, you know, and that's what happens with the social media movement. Everybody just hops on it for the time being, and then we go back to posting our fancy little content. But what are we actually doing? What is actually being done? So I've heard you say that, you know, you realize that, you know, there was a gap in your, not necessarily knowledge, but in the activities that you were doing. And you proactively went out and sought a way to fill that gap by understanding that, okay, I'm a feminist, but the array of people that I've got, it's not diverse enough, right?
Yeah, totally.
How do I diversify that? How do I bring people into that? And it's about taking positive steps of action, reaching out to people like myself, who is obviously a Black woman. We've been following each other for a while now, you know, and we've interacted just a little bit, commenting, go girl, you know, that kind of thing. But you're understanding that, okay, actually, I'm about to start something. Could she potentially want to be a part of it? So that's a positive step. You know, I'm just be about it. And the thing is, people act as though they don't know how. We love to act as if we don't know how. You know, you tell us. Actually, no, it's not our place as people of color to tell you how to do what you know how to do for other things. You know, when you want to implement digital change is new. Transformation is new, but yet you figured out a way of how to implement it in your organization. Black people didn't just come out. There have been Black people since God created the earth, or when you want to say Big Bang. Since the Big Bang, there have been Black people. Black people are not new. And, you know, I have a HR background, so we're constantly publishing stats on inequalities in the workplace, men being constantly paid more than women. These are basic things. These are very basic things that we need to conquer. You're able to conquer change in the minutest of things. Like, for example, people care so much about the environment. We're able to switch from using this to recyclable material.
Paper straws in every restaurant overnight.
And that came overnight. We had no warning. We had no warning at all. So
when it matters enough, basically, we can change anything.
When it matters enough, you find a way to do it. These businesses, when somebody starts an organization, it's because it mattered to them. The mission and the vision mattered to them. They thought, how am I going to make this a reality? And they pull together the resources somehow. They pull together the resources. They pull together the knowledge to do it somehow. So I subscribe to, how do we do it? How do we include people? You know, we truly celebrate LGBTQ. We genuinely celebrate them. We celebrate them. We change all our logos and whatever to their flag. And
the rainbow flag. Love the rainbow flag.
I love the rainbow flag. We've understood how to actually accept the LGBT community. We're still struggling to understand how to accept Black people. Why?
Basically, for everyone listening, how it started was, I'm starting a podcast for women in CX, and I realized that everybody I was talking to were all white women in CX, and I was like, hang on a minute.
I don't want it to be that you don't see my color. There's no such thing as that. You know, I don't see color. Let's be real. We see it. It's about acknowledging it, respecting it,
celebrating it,
valuing it, celebrating it, celebrating difference like we do for queer, like we do for disability. Do you understand? So why can we not celebrate the color? You know, why can't we celebrate the color? You know, and I know it can be a bit of a touchy subject for some, and they're not sure whether you can say, oh, black people. It's almost like a forbidden word sometimes. Whether you say black people, or should you say African American, or should you say whatever? But I think the foundation needs to be made right for that to transcend through how you even identify and connect with this particular group, with us as black people. So it's not that we don't want you to say, I don't see color, blah, 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 blah. It's about equality. You need to see the color.
And value my difference and appreciate
value my difference, value what I bring to the table. You know, Nigerians, or black people, shall I say, we are an excellent bunch of people, honestly.
I believe that.
An excellent bunch of people, passionate, well educated, you know, we thrive as well. But there just seems to be something about that acceptance of that, of this group of people, this select group of people, you know. So yeah.
We're getting loads of action going on in the chat here. Lots of people, lots of love hearts happening, lots of approval. See, be about it, don't just talk about it. Word. Now, I think if we were going to summarize our whole conversation, this is it, right?
That is it.
Be about it, don't just talk about it, and try to be better. Try to do more. Try to do as much as you can. If you get it wrong, you're probably going to get like noticed for it, but you're going to learn, right?
You know, and even on that matter, I'm thinking of when a company puts through an initiative, right? They have deadlines, they have timelines, and they have what they call deliverables and what they actually want to see. Stop there. What's your deadline for this? What are the deliverables? What do you hope to achieve by doing this? And how does that integrate with your company's culture and values?
You need to be introspective and acknowledge where there is an issue, and start to make that plan to do something about it, but not on the never. I think one of the things that frustrates me, rights issues and equality issues being a kind of PR opportunity for some companies.
Absolutely.
But you look at the reality of, well, what does your diversity and inclusion actually really look like on the board? And no offense to anybody, but still it's predominantly white, rich, old men sitting at that top table making all of those decisions, and it isn't representative of the people that they're serving as their customers, or the people that they're leading as their employees either. So I guess for me, when I think this is really changed is when the leadership we see is representative of diversity, because all that power sitting in one place with one group of people, right? That's got to be why the system doesn't change. And as long as the system is set up to serve them best, those white rich men of middle age.
And I actually have a very clear example that I'm currently living at the moment. I see a comment here that I really like, actually.
Oh, go for it. Sorry, I didn't scroll
we don't want to actually get to the stage that people are colorblind. We want them to see the color, but be blind to the differences, embracing the differences. See the color, but makes no difference, because we are all human. Change is constant. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving the chat section of this. But the example that I wanted to give was that I'm living this at the moment. There's a board of directors, and every single one of them is white, over 40. Every single one of them, from clearly affluent backgrounds, making life-changing decisions for a vulnerable group of people who are from all walks of life. Now, they sit on a panel that makes decisions for these various lives. There's some circumstances and situations that will occur in those people that they're making decisions on their life that they will not understand. They can never understand it. And one of my good friends, she runs a virtual assistant company, Tegame, and she also sat on something very similar to this, and there was a particular scenario that happened, and she was the only black person in the room, and she said the scenario isn't actually as bad or as damning or as daunting as you might think it is, because it's more of it's a cultural thing. But imagine if she wasn't in the room to raise that point, they would have made a decision that could have broken up a family, that could have torn and devastated a family, because they had no clue. And this is what we're constantly finding. That people who are far removed are making decisions on people who are living their everyday lives, who are different from them. You know, the culture is different, the mannerisms are different, the mindsets are different. So yeah, it's very, very important to change leadership, to make sure leadership is diverse. I really appreciate what the co-founder of Reddit did. He stepped down and said, you know what, I want a Black man to step in to my position, because he understands there's some things that he's just not going to be able to represent for or speak about that are relevant and truly inclusive of a particular subset of people.
And that realness and the real talk that we've had today, I think it's been awesome. I think given the feedback that we've had on the chat so far, this was a really, really great conversation. I'm sure it's helped lots of other people to think about themselves and how they behave too, and also how they can be supportive of other people, and how they can maybe start to generate some change within their own organizations and workplaces if they're seeing some of the things that you've called out today. So I just wanted to say thank you ever so much. You're a wonderful woman.
Thank you for having me there, honestly.
I really, really value and appreciate you. You're an absolute star. And I can't wait to have you on the Women in CX podcast.
Yay, I'm looking forward to it.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. I've now just got to work out how to save this without just sending it to IGTV. So I'm going to say bye now. Thanks so much, Lara. Thanks everybody. Bye. Take care.